What's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. So kaming dalawa lang ulit ni Gab for today and makita niyo naman pag-usapan natin ang Ballers and Boleros of the first round natin. Um, ang dami nating episodes lately, Gab, no? Nung nawala
Yes,
si Maui.
third straight episode.
Third
Grabe, yung
straight
magkasama kayo
episode
sa amin ni Sammy.
in
Magkasama
the
kayo,
last
magkasama
24
kayo.
hours. Pasensya na guys, pasensya na pagsawaan nyo kami. But let's talk about that first round. That was an exciting first round and we just we just had to do our Gatorade ballers and boleros of the first round. So, if for some reason you're not familiar with this segment, this is the segment where Gab and I, wala si Maui, pick our hashtag Gatorade Ballers of the Week. It could be any player, team, coach, or any X factor that help propel their team to victory, just like how Gatorade can fuel you forward. And for this particular episode, kita nyo man Gatorade, diba? For this particular episode, we're going to talk about our ballers and boleros for the entire first round. Not just the games yesterday or nung Saturday, but for the entire first round or the first half of the season.
We'll mix it in, diba? We'll
Yeah,
mix
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah, for
games on
sure.
Saturday. We'll
Of
mix in
course,
all
covered
other
yun. Covered
games.
yun. Yeah.
Yes.
But we'll cover the entire first round. And um, to our listeners and subscribers, please comment your hashtag Gatorade Ballers and Boleros of the first round. We will be giving out some Gatorade merch. So you could get a Gatorade shirt or yung water jug, water bottle, squeeze bottle that Gab just showed you earlier. So we will share some of our Gatorade merch. So please check out the instructions below. Use the hashtag Gatorade Ballers of the week. And then share your picks with us. Okay? Let's get started. Let's start with our Gatorade Ballers. Gab, give us one.
Okay, I'm gonna combine the ballers of the first round for this one. But before I get to my ballers, I have to remind our listeners that we are taking questions for our planned Q&A episode with just me and Sammy. So if you have any questions for us, if you have any questions for Maui, just send them in. We'll try to give it to Maui. Anything can be personal. It can be about us. It can be about basketball. It can be about NBA. Parang mailbag. All right. So leave your questions down below, or if you want, you can email us. We do have our email. Just look in our channel, and you'll find our email there if you're shy. Okay, my baller of the first round goes to two fan bases: the UE Red Warriors fan base and the UST Growling Tigers fan base, because they are back, baby. Let's
Masaya maging
go.
UE or UST fan right
Yep.
now.
Bomba! UE! Kadima! Let's
Pati yung
go,
comment section
stay!
natin puro
Go,
bomba di
stay!
ba?
Go, stay! Bro, Sammy, they are loud. UE was loud in the Ateneo game. UE was loud in the Lasal game. They were loud. I could hear them through the TV during the Adamson game. They were going crazy. They are backing this team, this UE team who was grinded out wins, who has had game winners, hot quarters, clutch shots after clutch shots. They are back in the arenas. They are cheering for this UE team, and they are loud. And how can you not cheer for your own team? They are 5-2. They're solo third. They have a chance to even make the top two seeds. Have a twice to beat advantage. Uh, would you have ever imagined that, Sammy? They
No,
were
no.
seventh. They were
Yeah.
seventh on on Maui's power ranking. Actually, sa same time tatlo.
I think all of
Yeah,
us picked them 7, yeah.
we picked UE at 7. They are definitely the surprise of the season so far. They're We've said it in our last couple of episodes. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're playing like they want it. They're playing like it's them against the world. They're outworking everyone. They're doing it on defense. They're moving the ball. Everyone is contributing. They don't need a good game from Precious Momoway to actually win games. It is amazing to be a UE Red Warriors fan right now. The school is there. The school, I'm sure, is electrified by how this team is performing. And I can't describe it. The fans are back. It's been 15 years, Sammy, as I said. In 15 years since the time of Paul Lee. Since the time of Paul Lee, Pari Liagas, Elmer Espiritu, uh, those were the guys who were still playing for UE when they last made the Final Four and eventually made the finals against Ateneo. That was so long ago. They've endured years of hardship and failure and losing. They lost Ray Remogat last year,
Mm-hmm.
this off
Mm-hmm.
season,
Mm-hmm.
and they're here. I actually think that the loss of Ray Remogat was actually now a good thing for UE because now it's unlocked everyone else, diba? And it's made them hungrier. It's made them hungry to prove everyone. And if I'm Ray Remogat and I'm seeing UE right now, I'll be like, what the hell did I just do? Bakit ako umalis ng UE? Oh my God, we could have been battling for a championship if I stayed. Diba?
Oh,
Those
imagine if
were
Remogat was still
those were his
there.
words. Those were Remogat's words. Diba? Sabi, I'm transferring to UP because I want to win a championship. Now UE is 5-2. They're on the cusp of a top 2 seed. They can if if and their first game is against LaSalle. Uh in the second round. Imagine if they win that one. The, they're gonna that crowd on Saturday is gonna be crazy. The arena is gonna be packed. There's gonna be a sea of red. I'm sure of it. And just kudos to UE, man, for surprising us all and bringing back their fans into the arena. I I also combined UST here for the first time in a long while since the Boy Mantika incident and Alden Ayo. They're back to winning ways. They're actually contending for the Final Four. The, they've won 3 total games the past 2 seasons. They've matched that. They've exceeded that in the first round. They've won 4 games already. This the crowd is not completely back, but the ghost chants are loud. They're back. I love seeing it. Uh, I was seated in the UST side during the LaSalle UST game, and I can tell you the fans are really back. The fans are loud. The fans are complaining. The fans are cursing the refs. UST is back in the UAAP arena, and they're hyped. Uh, they have 3 legit stars. Motong Kara has proven himself to be the top FSA. I don't think that's a stretch. No, he's averaging 14 points a game. He's one of the top MVP candidates. He's he's proving game after game that he is legit. And Nick Caballero, actually, ang daming, we don't even talk about yung Nick Caballero often,
That's
di ba?
true. That's true.
That's kind of crazy because he's been the superstar of this team.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't talked about him. He's averaging close to 14 points a game. It's not anymore just him doing the offense, creating shots for his teammates. He can now depend on other guys. And what you like about UST is Fortsky is starting to get going. He has scored in double digits, I think, for the past 3 games already. He was amazing in their last win against FEU. I don't know if you saw that, Sam, yung mga pasa niya in the fourth quarter. His two passes finding Motong Kara underneath. They're rolling. They're rolling. Yes, they lost big to LaSalle. They lost to UP, but in that game against UP, they were in it for the first 3 quarters. I do think with just a little bit more push, they can contend. They can eventually beat a LaSalle or a UP. I do think that. Um, I'm just so happy for these two fan bases who have suffered for a long time. And uh, yun lang, no? Nakainggit as an Ateneo alumnus uh, to see UE and UST cheer that loud because, uh, to be fair, to Ateneo, the fans have not really been showing up that much. There have been still a crowd there, but not the same strong crowd as in the past couple of years when you're winning. But now to UE and to UST, nakakaingit. I wish the Ateneo crowd would cheer that loud again because ibang klase. Those fan bases are the true ballers of the first round. Sammy.
I love those picks. I love those picks. I want to start with UST. Um, yung crucial din talaga dito, like comparing it to last season, I would say, is really having that FSA in Tongkara because last season they had none, 'di ba? Nawala si what was his name? After the first game nawala na yung FSA nila.
Adama
Nakalimutan ko
Faye.
na siya.
Faye.
Faye, Adama Faye. Nawala agad siya after the first game last season. So just having that FSA, that big man that they can rely on is crucial. And remember, itong UST team, they have been competitive whenever they've had like a very good FSA in the past. The most recent one was Chabio. They made it to the finals with him. He was the MVP at that time. Karim Abdul, siguro mga 7 years yon naglaro si Karim Abdul for UST. It felt so long. It felt so long. So, the fact that they have Tongkara, and you said it, they have 3 core guys that they can, star guys that they can rely on as part of their big 3, really means a lot, and it spells the difference versus last year na talagang it was just Nick Caballero. You can see Nick is so happy. Nick is so happy this season.
He's
He can
winning. He's
he
won
can
more this season than I think he's in his entire
in
UAAP
the
career.
entire career. Tama ka dyan. Oo nga, no? So, he can relax now. He doesn't need to tear his jersey. Nick Caballero is a big winner for this season also. But yung UST fan base, because we all talk about that UST fan base, they can get crazy and they have the catchiest cheer. The catchiest cheer. Go Uste. So, that's
I
exciting
I
for
want
me.
to see a sea of yellow on Sunday against
Tapos yung may
UP.
yellow balloon pa. Tapos go
Yeah,
Uste.
I
Go
I
Uste.
I want to see a
That's
packed
crazy.
USD crowd versus a packed UP crowd, and they're just cheering their lungs out for their teams. I
UST
want to see that.
versus
Come
UP.
on,
Oh.
USD, let's bring it.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Okay, moving on to your UE pick. I will be jumping on that because I picked UE for my baller of the first half, but I sort of swerved a bit kasi alam kong pipiliin mo si UE. We have to, 'di ba? You have to pick UE. So, actually may swerve din yung sa'yo, 'di ba? Kasi you picked the UE fans. Ako naman I'm giving the baller of the first half to Coach Jack Santiago in particular. Kasi it hasn't been, well, he has really sort of slowly rebuilt this program, 'di ba? It's not just this season, pero he gave the fan base glimmers of hope in the past few seasons. I think they kept improving. They would upset certain teams. I'm sure Lasal fans are still traumatized by yung mga games na yon against UE. Last season, almost made it, except maybe if they had Precious Momoe in that second to the last game, they could have made it to the Final Four. Ano pa ba yung mga issues? Maraming issues si Coach Jack. Yung FSA issue, remember that FSA na biglang umuwi, said na Coach Jack lied to him,
Si
etc.
Willie Wilson.
Yeah, yon si Wilson. Tapos um the first the first season
He
coming
was
back from
suspended.
COVID, he was suspended. It's been a roller coaster ride for Coach Jack Santiago. A lot of his players left him. Gani Stevens, Ray Remogat, nagka-mass exodus din. I think previous season lang din, 4 players going to the NCAA. We were thinking, there's something wrong with Coach Jack. And yet, this team, his players, despite everything that's happened, despite all the players that have left him, ang daming nawala last season, this team has bought into Coach Jack Santiago's system. And sabi mo nga, Gab, we asked who will step up, who will step up in place of Ray Remogat. Actually, the answer is nobody. Kasi everybody else stepped up. There's no one player that sort of stepped up. It's everybody else. They pitched in. And maganda yung sinabi mo. Kasi, and sorry, just to cap it off, that game winner from yesterday. Maganda yung comment nung one of our listeners. Sorry, I forgot yung name mo. But I mentioned kasi sobrang saya ni Coach Jack after the game. But apparently, like, nagalit muna siya kay Muling Tapang and then he turned
He
around
gave
and then he
he gave a
celebrates
stinky eye
yung,
to
yung
Malik
death
Takpang
stare.
first. He did.
Death
He
stare.
did.
But alam mo, Gab, that yung death stare na yun, that is a blessing ha. Kasi ever since he made Maga cry, gumaling si Maga eh. So if Coach Jack gives you a death stare, that's good. That's a good
Rainier
sign for you.
Maga has been a revelation
Right?
for
He
UE.
stepped up. Ever since that
My
moment when
oh,
Coach Jack gave him shit, he has stepped up.
I mean, this guy's in first year in the UAAP and he looks good. I hope he stays in UE. I think this guy is a star. I think this guy is a future star. He can already shoot. We've seen him make crazy layup. We've seen him drive. Defensively still needs some work, but the offensive skills are there. I love Rainier Maga. Oh, he should is Rain din ang pangalan niya. Perhaps other replacement for Rain Rumogat, diba? So,
Rain Remogat.
but he's really good. He's really good. Rain Maga has been a revelation. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I love this pick. We have to give UE the ballers of the first half. Kudos to Coach Jack Santiago for getting this team to buy in despite everything that's happened. I think it deserves credit also for steering UE to the number 3 slot. I still can't believe we're saying that solo third UE. Kudos also to the rest of the coaching staff, no. Si Don Aliado, LA Revilla, former LaSalle Stars also. So shout out to the coaching staff of UE, getting them to buy into this system. I'm excited for UE. I'm happy for them. Hopefully they stay competitive in the second round. Okay. Let's move on to our
Your pick.
second.
Oh,
No, my pick na is
your pick
Coach
was
Jack
UE.
Santiago.
Or,
My pick
okay,
was
okay.
Coach Jack Santiago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sige, let's do
So,
another one. Since wala naman si Maui, let's do another baller pick. Gab.
all right. So for my second baller of the first round, I know a lot of people have not been really watching juniors or women's basketball, but the ballers of the first round have to be the UE Junior Warriors and the NU Lady Bulldogs because they both of them have swept the elimination round. Now, the UP Fighting Maroons found out that it's very hard to sweep a first round.
Oo
And
nga, no, muntik na, no, kung na-sweep ng UP, all
oh,
divisions, may,
and
walang talo, sayang.
yep. And what's impressive about both of these teams is they have been dominating the competition. The UE Junior Warriors have beaten their opponents by an average of 22 points per game.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine that. 22 points per game. They have rampaged through the competition in the juniors division.
Saya maging
Uh,
UE fan ngayon.
Saya maging UE fan ngayon. And this bodes well for their basketball program. If the youngest age bracket for the UE Red Warriors are performing like this, if they can bring them up to the senior high school ranks and eventually to the college ranks, imagine
That's a
the
big
strength.
if. That's a
It's a
big
big
if,
if.
though.
It's a big if, but uh, imagine the strength of this UE Red Warriors program if they can build from the grassroots. I think Strong Group Athletics has been supporting the juniors program of UE, which
Mhm.
is why I think they're now uh, getting a lot of good players
Yeah,
in a young age. So,
yeah, kasi parang
uh,
hindi naman normally, you wouldn't expect UE to be a strong team sa juniors, diba? Kahit nung time
oh,
natin, I think,
yung
hindi naman sila,
like
favorites.
like what I said, yung I think I had them as a baller of the week in one of the previous weeks. Yung
Mm,
I said the exact same thing, Sam. UE is
mm,
not really known to
yeah,
challenge in the
yeah.
juniors ranks. I I,
Normally,
I think they've won a
FEU,
total of 2 juniors championships total in the history of the
really?
UAAP. Yeah,
Okay, hindi ko alam yun.
I think correct me na lang if anyone knows. But the last time I could remember UE being competitive in juniors basketball was si Paul Zamar pa yung kanilang star
Siya
player.
yung star.
Oh, and then they had bigs like si Duran and si Adrian Santos. You probably hindi mo na maalala to, Sam, but those were the guys who were leading this UE juniors
Mhm.
program noon. But yeah, they haven't experienced much success in the juniors division. So to see this,
Yeah.
that's really good. And to see them rampaging through everyone, that is really good. Now, on the women's side, NU looks hungry to get back
Out
their
for
dynasty.
revenge. Yeah.
Out for revenge. If you guys are not familiar, UST last season ended NU's, I think, 7-year dynasty
Yes. Something like
in
that.
in in women's basketball. So they are out for blood this season. I am sure of it. They're playing modern basketball. They're shooting a ton of threes. CC Clarin is like
CC, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark in the Philippines. I love it. They have a ton of good players. Also, si Konate is their FSA. I think she's the sister, or probably
Probably.
a relative of Mo Konate. Si Pingol is really good. A lot si Angel Surada is really good also. A
Gilas
lot
din
of these
yan, si
girls,
Surada.
yeah, a lot of these women are part of the Gilas pool. So they're really talented. They're really good. They've won each of their games by double digits, except for UST and Ateneo. But the UST, I think they led for double digits for the first 3 quarters, and then UST eventually made a comeback. Ateneo last Saturday was the other team to really challenge them, but in the end they couldn't keep up with the outside shooting of NU. NU, man, they're out to regain what they think is theirs. That women's crown. I mean, they've been
Get
dominating women's
another
basketball.
7 years.
Yeah, they want another dynasty. They want another dynasty. So UE, NU, you're winners of your ballers of the first round. Sammy.
Yeah, good picks, good picks. Daming magandang games na pwede panoorin. Also in the juniors and women's division. Yun lang, maubusan ka ng oras no? Maubusan ka na ng oras sa dami naman pwede mo panoorin. Shout out to Pilipinas Live, by the way.
I've been privileged to have watched a couple, not just a couple, a handful of women's games and even some juniors games.
Live.
Ang hirap lang talaga yung, as you said, Sam, to just stick to your TV for an entire day. Of course, may gagawin ka rin sa other parts of your day. But I'm happy then that I'm able to catch some of these games because they're really entertaining. Yung juniors basketball, siguro kung hindi ka sanay sa takbuhan and sa maraming turnovers, baka di mo ma-enjoy because mga bata to. But if you like that, if you like seeing young kids run up and down the floor, fast-paced basketball, the future of Philippine basketball, the future of your school, you might want to check out some juniors basketball. Sammy.
For my next baller of the first round, maybe some people will call this controversial kasi there are obvious choices. I'm picking a player. Para naman may player tayong baller of the first round. I probably should have picked Kevin Kiambao or JD Kagulangan, the top 2 leaders in the MVP race. Obviously, both guys leading their teams to 6-1 record. KQ leading his team yesterday with that win. I think that was another classic KQ performance. So
2010 and 3.
2010 and 3.
2010 and 3.
So they really deserve, sa totoo lang, they really deserve to be ballers of the first round, if you asked me. But I want to swerve a little and give credit to someone na teammate ni JD Kagulangan. I have to give credit to QMB. I know,
Yes.
I think baller siya for the fact na hindi siya bust.
Hindi siya si Troy Reich.
No, sorry guys, naubo ako. Kasi sobrang pinag-isipan ko na iingatin ko, wala akong in-name drop na mga tao, and then Gab just ruins everything, di ba? But we were worried.
Masyado
Meron
ka mabait
ding
sa amin eh. Yun ang
may
problema
onting
eh.
worry kasi naabuto tuloy ako. May onting worry kasi marami na tayong nakuwang Div 1 players from abroad, from the US na papasok ng papasok ng UAAP na excuse me na ano tuloy ako, na hiccups na ako. Na ano na hype tayo, but teka lang ate. Sinira mo yung ano ko, Gab.
This
Gablin,
is
sinira mo
great!
yung flow ko.
Oh, I'm glad we're still recording!
Hindi, live tayo dito, legit tayo, hindi tayo nagsa-stop ng recording. QMB, hindi siya si Troy Reich. Oh, sige na nga, hindi siya si Troy Reich. He's been solid. He's averaged, I think, under a double-double. He's averaged like 9 points and a little under 10 rebounds a game. Not really flashy numbers, but that's what I love about him, si QMB. He's not flashy, but he's so solid and reliable. Helped the team stay in the game yesterday against LaSalle, and probably in a lot of the games that he's dominated. I don't know, parang for me, if wala si QMB, I feel like UP would have had a difficult time winning some of their other games. He's been so crucial to his team. Talk about X factor talaga. And this guy was a last minute addition. We didn't expect him to join the team until late, 'di ba? And one and done siya, and I think UMB can save the season for UP and can be the difference maker if they're going to be a champion this season. I think that's how crucial he is. And again, what I really love about this guy, he's like the Mike Phillips of this team. He gives them a lot of energy, effort, rebounding. Sabi mo nga, Gab, he's slow-footed pero grabe yung motor din niya. And yung competitiveness. But he's not flashy. That's what I love about this guy. I'm such a big fan of QMB, and I think he's just like a 10th in the MVP race. So hindi mataas ranking niya, but yung intangibles that he brings to the table. You said it. I think you said it in our previous episode. Like the other bigs of UP was sort of not playable yesterday. So QMB, I think saludo ako sa iyo. You deserve to be a baller of the first round. Anything you want to add about QMB?
I love what you said, Sam, na QMB is not flashy because he does the little things. And for those who, hindi masyadong na pinapansin yung mga little things about basketball, you probably won't appreciate QMB because here are some things I like about QMB. He's a very disciplined and polished big. He doesn't have a ton of offensive moves. Let's clarify that, because there are some fans who are wondering why don't they give the ball more to QMB? He's much taller. Why don't they give him more touches? I don't think he's the guy you give it to the post and allow him to go one-on-one. I think he has very limited post moves. Christian Manaytay, I think, has more polished post moves and Cedric Manzano than
Imagine mo kung yung post moves ni Manahitay lagay mo kay
Oh,
QMB,
diba?
no? Oh, shit.
Diba? But here are some things that teams or people don't notice. When he cuts to the rim, he's always hands up because he's so long. When he gets a rebound, he doesn't put it down. It's always get it, put it back in. When he's contesting shots at the rim, very disciplined, straight up. Watch the game against LaSalle yesterday. Look how disciplined he is in contesting shots. Every time someone goes to the rim, jumps straight up. That is how the fact that he didn't foul out with the amount of layups and dunks that were being thrown his way is a testament to how disciplined he is on the defensive end. And that is exactly what UP needs. They don't need a guy to score. They have enough scorers. They have a ton of scorers. They have a ton of guys who can make shots. But if they have this guy who's a target just for dunk passes, a guy who gets rebounds, uh, protects the rim. He's a, just watch the previous games when JD was playing. JD really looks for this guy, especially on the pick and roll, and he knows na QMB looks for it on top. He's always his hands are always raised because he's so long, and JD can pinpoint that pass right on cue to QMB for a close in layup. That's what I love. And if you're a fan of Gilas, and if he eventually gets the go signal to play for our national team, I think you every Filipino should be happy because honestly we lack bigs outside of Kai Soto and AJ Edu. Who else are promising young bigs? Diba? Japeth and Junmar are not young anymore. Diba? So tamang-tama ang dating ni QMB. I hope SBP can process his papers and eventually get him to play for the national team because he will be big. I don't expect that he's gonna be a dominant force like Junmar, just outmuscling everyone in the paint. He's not that. He's a guy that you want to grab rebounds and protect the rim and run the floor. That's QMB, and I think he's been more than what I expected. I didn't know exactly what we were gonna get from QMB, but I'm pretty happy with the result. Sammy.
It says a lot also when people talk highly of you. Mike Phillips praised QMB in yesterday's game. Also said yung passing game niya is very underrated. We've also talked to other insiders that are connected to UP, and they were saying na a lot of the other bigs, they look up to him. They look up to him, and he tries to teach the other guys everything, his knowledge, diba? Everything he knows. So from everything that we've been hearing, people have been praising him. Nothing bad has been said about him. I think he's like a great team guy that would be a really perfect fit for UP. Maganda yung mga description mo kanina of QMB. Siguro fundamentals yung masasabi ko. The big fundamental siya, 'di ba? Duncan-esque.
Tim Duncan is smiling right
Tim
now.
Tim Duncan is smiling right now. The fundamentals are solid. So QMB. Okay, sige. Let's take a break first before we talk about our boleros of the first round, and let's talk about our next sponsor for this episode. So we mentioned this in our previous episode. We just have to mention it again. Gab and I, we love sneakers, and meron kaming sponsor today that will help you take care of your shoes and make sure they will stay clean and in perfect condition. So our sponsor is Cedar Co. They were kind enough to give us some of their products to show to you. So let's talk about the first one, which is yung shoehorn nila. So para saan ba yung shoehorn? Yung shoehorn, it's there to help you put on your shoes properly. Guys, pet peeve namin to ni Gab, when you put it on and nagfo-fold yung heel tab ng shoes nyo, nag-crease siya eh. Nakakainis eh, diba? So, makikita nyo naman ang ating model for today, si Mr. Sultan of Sando, showing you how to put on the shoehorn. And yung maganda dito is, their shoehorn is slightly longer than the ones that you usually get that are for free. Medyo maiksi, bitin, mahirap isuot. Ito, at least mas madali, mas mahaba. And it's made of metal. So it's a lot sturdier than the plastic ones that you get for free. Okay, so ayan, shoehorn. And then you just slip your foot there. Suabe, guys. It's very easy to use. You won't break your shoes. So please, use a shoehorn. Hindi ko talaga matake yung hindi nag-shoehorn. Next, another product that they did share with us is yung shoe tree nila. So that's probably why they're called Cedar Co. is because yung shoe tree nila is made out of cedar. So why get a shoe tree? Most of you probably have one, especially for your fancy shoes, your leather shoes. And it helps keep your shoes in shape, avoids creases. But I think the advantage of having a cedar shoe tree is, number one, it helps absorb moisture, which will help prevent molds. Medyo maulan ngayon, so ingat kayo sa mga shoes nyo. Second is yung aroma. Cedar trees are very aromatic. So, it keeps your shoes smelling fresh. Ito si Gab, nadidistract ako eh. So, it keeps your shoes smelling fresh compared to, let's say, metal shoe trees or plastic shoe trees that aren't as functional as a cedar shoe tree. They do have other products, so please check them out. They were kind enough to give all our listeners or subscribers who purchase through the link that we will be posting in the description box below 50 pesos off their purchase. So please check out the link in the description box below to buy your shoehorn, your shoe tree, and other shoe products. Meron din silang brush na maganda you can use to clean your shoes. So Cedar Co. Check them out.
Yeah. The true tree is not just for leather shoes, Sam.
Pwede
You gotta get
din.
the
Pwede din.
Jordans.
Sabi ko,
Sam.
fancy shoes. Fancy
You
shoes.
gotta get your Jordans. My Jordans are very precious to me, and I really love this sponsor. Talaga saktong-sakto sa atin, Sam, na may sponsor tayong ganito.
Okay.
Perfect for our branding. Yung kulang na lang ba may gusto mag-sponsor ng sapatos.
Sapatos namin,
Jordan.
para magamitan ng
Oo.
Cedar Co, di ba? Shout out sa mga
Jordans.
shoe
Jordan.
brands
Baka
dyan.
naman. Nike.
Baka naman. Baka naman. Sakto pang Saturday basketball natin, Gab. Anyway, moving on. We talked about the ballers of the first round. Fortunately, we have to talk about the boleros. So, Gab, share with us your first bolero of the first round. And I'm curious where you're going with this.
I'm gonna go to two players. So I picked two teams in the ballers, four teams in the baller segment. I am gonna go with two players, and I'm gonna clump them together because they're from the same team. They're from the team who is last in the UAAP standings, the Ateneo Blue Eagles, and that those two players are Sean Ketevis and Chris Kuhn. I've spoken a
The
lot
captains, the
already.
vets.
The vets, the graduating players, the leaders of this team. I've spoken a lot already about Sean Ketevis and my frustrations with him. We have not spoken a lot about Chris Kuhn, but he has had a disappointing season. It's it's just he has not taken the leap that we expected of him when sina David Defonso graduated and BJ Andrade graduated. We expected Chris Kuhn to be that guy. Since last season, we expected Chris Kuhn uh, to to be the go-to guy, to be the guy who's willing to miss shots but willing to take them. And so far, he has not taken them. He's averaging less than 6 points a game. He's shooting close to 30% from the field. Uh, Less than 3 assists per game, less than 3 rebounds per game. Sean Toano has essentially done the things that I expected of Chris Kuhn. Diba? Sean Toano, when the offense is not clicking, when the options are not being fed in the offense, Sean Toano just tries to isolate and tries to generate offense. That's what I thought Chris Kuhn should have done last season and this season, and we have not seen it. Also, Chris Kuhn, I don't know if you remember, Sam, Chris Kuhn was shooting free throws off the glass throughout the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought
And during the first round, I mean, nung start of the first round of the glass
yeah, and he was
potential.
having success with that in the preseason. He has completely abandoned it now. He's 3 out of 8 total from the free throw line this season. And the fact that he only has 8 free throw attempts shows you how unwilling he is to create offense for this team when this team needs. It's been really disappointing for Chris Kuhn. Sayang no. Siguro if you didn't have such high expectations of Chris Kuhn, you wouldn't have him as a bolero. But I think a lot of Ateneans did. A lot of Ateneo fans had big expectations for Chris Kuhn. Diba? He was essentially the sixth man in season 85. We saw the skills. He had shooting. He had handles. Diba? Saan ka makakita ng 6'4", 6'5" guy who can handle the ball like a guard, who can shoot threes like a guard, who had a smooth stroke. But he's so passive a lot of the times, and it's frustrating. His last season, he's not really performing that well. For Sean Ketevis, I think ang dami ko nang sinabi kay Sean Ketevis. He's averaging what, 3 points a game. Funnily, he's perfect from the free throw line, but he's only taken 6 shots, 6 free throws.
Talaga?
Yeah,
He's
he's perfect from
perfect
the
from
free
the
throw.
free throw
He's
line? I didn't
perfect
know
from the
that.
free throw line. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that this Ateneo team which has an Achilles heel of free throws, the one guy who doesn't want to take shots is actually their best free throw shooter? Uh, yeah, he's taken a total of 17 shots this season. And he's the guy who averages the most minutes on this team. I think that tells you all you need to know. And actually, if you look at his numbers, Sam, he's shooting 60+% from 2-point range for the whole of the first round. He has actually decent percentages. It's just he doesn't have the volume to back it up.
Baka
Diba?
yun yung iniingatan niya, yung percentages niya.
Just ko, uh,
Joke
now,
lang, joke lang. And that's not what Sean is thinking. Like, joke lang yun.
but the other thing why Sean Keteves is a bolero, because he Ben Simmons us. He gave us in the off-season a ton of clips of a new shooting form.
Ben Simmons.
He was swak yung mga free throws niya. Well, to be honest, swak yung mga free throws niya so far. But a new shooting for shooting threes, a quicker release. He was hyping himself up. He was hyping Ateneo fans up. But what's the point of a new shooting form if you're not gonna shoot? Diba? So, Ateneo's 1-6 now. I do think they have to dial back the minutes now of Sean Keteves and Chris Kuhn. Try to develop the younger guys. We saw in their last game against NU, they put up their highest point total of the season. I don't think that was a coincidence. The fact that they played Kyle Gamber more, they ran more with Waki Espina. I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, they also gave up their highest point total to NU.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
I don't think that's a coincidence too. We've said this. Sean Ketevis is their best defender, but they just struggle to score. But for me, tama na eh. We're 1-6. We're malayo na tayo. You're gonna make the Final Four. There's no way. Unless we sweep the second round, which is highly unlikely. Diba? So, for me, it's time to develop the guys for next year. Dial back Chris Kuhn, dial back Sean Ketevis, play the younger guys, play Waki Espina, Kyle Gamber, play sino pa nun? Si Femi Edu, Adam De La Cruz, all of the guys who have not played, Masam Reyes, diba? Try to develop them, get them more experience. Now, is Coach Tab that kind of coach? I don't think so.
Probably
diba? Probably not. He's a coach that who's gonna try to win every game, no matter how lopsided it is, or how much the odds are against them. Coach Tab is gonna try to win. So as much as I'm saying this, malayo mangyari, but I hope, man, I really hope these two guys have disappointed me this season. Yun lang. It's been a sad season for Ateneo fans, and we can only hope for hope or signs of development, signs of progression in the second round. Sammy.
Yeah, I did have Ateneo as part of my Boleros of the first round. I have to admit that. So just jumping off what you said, it's been disappointing if you're an Ateneo fan. Syempre yung level of expectation mo mataas sa Ateneo ever since. Every season naman mataas yung expectation sa Ateneo. Championship or bust yan. I know a lot of things happened in the off-season, but that shouldn't be an excuse. We talked about a team like UE that went through a lot, lost their MVP candidate, and yet they were able to will their team to a solo spot at number 3. That's the team that Ateneo wish they could be. Diba? Start of the season, Coach Tab was talking about how hungry the guys are, his players are. They want to win. They have a chip on their shoulder. The preseason didn't go well. You sort of expected them to win some of those close games, but it's been a struggle for them to win close games. May stretches. And here's the thing pinapaasa ka for certain quarters, pero may stretches talaga na nagdi-disappear yung 3-point shooting and yung free throws, and then they lose the game. So obviously, being the last place team in the first round, you have to be one of the Boleros of the first round. You want to say something
And to
before I move
those,
on to my other
yeah,
one?
and to those who are saying that I'm extra harsh on these guys and why am I being extra harsh on these two guys? Because look at the other vet on this team, Josh Lazaro. Just Sam, we've been
We
critical
were
of
harsh on Josh Lazaro in previous seasons. I have
Oh,
to admit that we were.
watch
But
him
we
now.
also expected a lot from him kasi.
Oh, and watch him now. Oh, he's second in the team in scoring, leads the team in rebounds. He's taking shots. He's now developed a 3-point shot. He's aggressive, looking for his shot.
Yun yung one knock against him diba? Takot siya
Yeah,
tumira noon. We kept saying,
diba?
tira mo
He was,
lang!
yeah, he wasn't looking at the rim for the past couple of seasons, and now, diba, when we saw him play, we were like, "Who is this guy?" Diba? So
Who?
so that's why I'm disappointed in SQ and Chris Kuhn, because their other vet on this team is performing way above expectations. Is showing that he's willing to step up and take shots when no one else wants to. That's why. So for those who are saying I'm extra hard, those are my point. Those are my references. Diba? So yun lang. Tommy, go ahead.
Silver lining for Ateneo, I guess. Seems like Jared Bahay is getting better the past few games. Kyle Gamber, I think he's leading the league in 3-point field goal percentage. Obviously, not a lot of attempts, pero still very accurate from 3, 7 of 15, I think.
I think a lot of Athenians are clamoring for Kyle Gamber to get more minutes. I mean, just the gravity alone, diba? Yun naman yung thing with shooting. You don't yes, he's a liability on defense. Yes, maybe he's thin and can't get to the rim with enough efficiency, or he can't finish at the rim. But the fact that you can park him at one corner or one wing and then the defense is worried about him creates space, which is something that Sean Quiteves does not create because they don't care about Sean Quiteves. So yun lang. I do want to see more of Espina, Gamber, Asoro, guys on that bench who are gonna probably play next season. Sana, if they don't transfer, if they don't leave. But yeah, so that's my wish for Ateneo in the second round. Tami.
Yeah, so I picked two teams as my Boleros. So Ateneo was the first half of it. I have to put in FEU. Hindi ako maka-decide kasi parang unfair naman sa Ateneo kasi technically pareho silang 1 and 6, di ba? So I had to put FEU here as my Boleros of the first round din. Number 1, nambudol sila. Nambudol talaga sila. Nabudol tayo. We picked them number...
Actually, Sammy, yung nakalagay dito sa notes ko, yung mga bolero, tayong tatlo. Or tayong dalawa.
Actually.
Dahil tayo ng pabudol.
Oo, nagpabudol tayo sa FEU. Nambudol sila pero nagpabudol naman tayo. We were so high on this FEU team, but just like Ateneo, they do have a lot of rookies. They've made a ton of mistakes. They've had horrible quarters also. And they're 1-6. They're in last tied in last place with Ateneo. They just beat Ateneo kaya mas mataas sila in ranking. It's another disappointing season for FEU. That's what, 3 straight seasons where they start
Started
like
0
0
and
and
5.
4 or 0 and 5,
0
yeah,
and 5.
in
0 and 5,
0 and
exactly.
5.
For 3 straight seasons na.
And they're going
And
to
for two
miss
straight
the
seasons,
playoffs.
they've beaten Ateneo in their 6th game. So
And
go figure.
go figure. Go figure. And they're going to miss the playoffs again. Despite yung talented recruits nila, uh, obviously, yung best thing that happened to them also is getting an FSA that's contending as
Top 5 in
contending for the
MVP.
MVP race. Top 5.
What did
Correct
I
ka
tell you,
dyan.
Sammy? What did I tell you? I tell you, diba, once you start looking at the statistical points, you'll see Mo Konate's name up there. I
Yep.
told you.
Yep. He's proven to be probably the most consistent and reliable player in this FEU team. I think you said that also, Gab. Joric Bautista is the go-to scorer probably, but may off nights din siya.
On
Mo
and off, yeah.
Konate, yeah, the most consistent for FEU. And they should keep this guy. We talked about that in a previous episode. They should keep this guy, develop this guy. He's young and he's leading the league in total rebounds. Total rebounds. So this is the guy they were missing last season. Na missing piece nila. Sayang, I wish he could have played with LJ Gonzalez. But despite that, they're 1-6, so they deserve to be one of the boleros of the season.
First
Syempre,
half,
they
yung
beat
first round
Ateneo.
pa lang naman. Hindi naman
Of the
sila.
first round, sorry, of the first half. Yeah, Gab.
Uh, so siguro ako naman yung mag-silver lining sa FEU since you gave your silver lining to Ateneo. Silver lining is Coach Sean Chambers is willing to adjust. Nakikinig siya sa Boleros. He's willing
Nakikinig
to
kasi
dial
siya sa boleros. Oo, tama.
Boleros. So,
Yun dapat
Coach
yun.
Tab, baka naman. Coach Tab. Or any from the Ateneo coaching staff, baka naman. Pwede mo siyang slip ng Boleros podcast sa phone niya, tas i-play mo lang. Anyway, yeah, Coach Sean has proven that he's willing to adjust. We were saying it a couple of games ago, they should play Montemayor and Nakai more. And Coach Sean has obliged. He's lessened the minutes of his vets, Baguno and Ona, and given more minutes to Rojan Montemayor and Adam Nakai. Rojan Montemayor, I think, is their best 3-point shooter by percentage, of course.
Yeah.
So,
ganda din ng length niya eh, no?
ang ganda ng length niya. He has different skills. He can rebound the ball. He can defend. So, I like it that at least we see Coach Sean adjusting, that he's not just preferring the vets. And that's a silver lining. To VJ Pre, I mean, he's been scoring in double digits, but I think you want more, let's just say, composure. I think he leads the team in turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Really?
Yeah, he does. Alam ko, no first 4 games nila, Sam, siya yung team leader in turnovers. Except for that one game na against NU na tied sila ni Alforque with 5 turnovers each. So, yun. At least si Coach Sean is willing to adjust. I'll give him that. Okay.
Okay. Next bolero. Gab.
Okay.
Last bolero.
My last bolero of the first round is actually some players who have disappointed, and we kind of expected, well, at least I did, some more from them in terms of performance. One is Reinhardo Mamoy.
Oh, that was my pick. Okay, sige, go.
Okay, ipag-combine na lang natin. So, Reinhardo Mamoy and Kyle Paranada. People kind of forget that Kyle Paranada
that's a good pick.
was the man in UE. He was Ray Remogat before Ray Remogat became a star.
Before Ray Remogat. Oo, tama.
Diba? So, and he has been disappointing. I think he's averaging 3 points a game. He's I think he's averaging this. He has the same amount of assists and turnovers, both 11 in the first round. I thought he would be that spark plug scorer off the bench, will give them 9 to 10 points a game, uh, just run the floor, shoot threes, get to his floater in the mid range. It has not been a good season for Kyle Paranada. And you ask, well, what can you expect from a backup point guard? Well, that's the thing. He came from a school, from a team where he was the man, and now he
Mhm.
went to a school where he's the backup.
Mhm.
So I think you have to give him the bolero of the first round. Sayang eh. He was already putting up a bunch of numbers in UE, the main guy. Imagine if he stayed in UE. He's another guy who just imagine if he stayed in UE. So very disappointing for Kyle Paranada. For the offense for UST just looks bad when Fortsky is not on the floor and when Kyle Paranada is running the show. I think a lot of our UST commenters have observed that also. Iba talaga pang si Fortsky nandun eh. Pang yung playmaking and calming presence ni Fortsky. Kyle Paranada has not lived up to what he was in season 85. And he was a scorer in season 85. He got hot. He put up 20 points, yung 20-point games
May Steph
for
Curry
most.
shots ba yan eh? Yung
Yeah,
mga tres
yung
niya from
mga,
Steph Curry range.
yeah, and now wala. So yun, and Reynardo Mamoy, I think very self-explanatory. We expected him to be the replacement of Kian Baclan. We expected him to be that secondary scorer next to Jake Figueroa. It has not panned out. Now, a lot of it also is not his fault because we've said this in previous episodes. Coach Jeff Napa does not really want to, give Reinhard Humamoy a long leash. He always pulls him early, and I don't know if his confidence is shot or uh, his rhythm is not there, but he has not lived up yet to the hype. Now it's only his second season in the UAAP. He still has 3 eligible playing years to go. I do hope we see eventually the explosion of talent that I see in Reinhard Omar, because he's a really talented guy. He can drive to the basket, can pull up from mid range, he can pull up from three. He has Steph Curry range as well, Sammy, and we have not seen that yet. And I think that's part of NU struggles also this season. Uh, they don't have any other shooter or scorer next to Jake Figueroa. So, yun. Reinhard Mamoy and Cal Paranalo. Sammy.
Yeah, good picks. I think for Kyle Paranada, grabe din yung hype behind the after he left UE, diba? There medyo sabi nila pinag-agawan din siya ng other schools. And probably expected to start for UST before Fortsky decided to join UST, diba? So medyo sakit din for Paranada, especially seeing his team being higher than his team, his former team being higher than his current team right now. That's an interesting pick. For Reinhard Humamoy, you've said it. One issue is, diba, we expected him to be step in seamlessly into the Kian Baklaan role. That hasn't happened. He's had some games where nagfa-fluctuate yung playing time niya, or he gets like a short leash. We've talked about this for a long time. Siguro the one thing that I do want to add about Reinhard Humamoy is we mentioned this in the preseason, I think, yung chemistry niya with Mo Diasana. During the preseason, he would always look for Mo Diasana. Meron lagi silang play na he would give Mo Diasana an alley-oop. If kaya niya, he would always do like a fast break pass, throw the ball directly to Diasana for a dunk. I'm just curious, what would have happened to his performance if Mo Diasana was healthy or if they had an FSA, diba? Because We saw that in the preseason. He loved feeding his FSAs, his athletic bigs. Obviously, sina Palacielo and sina Padrones aren't the athletic bigs like Omar John or si Diasana. So, yun yung isang what if ko for Reinhard Humamoy. Sayang. But, as you said, bata pa siya and he can still work on his game. Um, since you mentioned him already, I do want to mention also another player, another Bolero, and I'm also going to pick someone from NU because they're in uh, third to the last, diba?
Hindi
And
ko alam
I'm
wala
going
yung
to pick
pipiliin mo eh.
ano na?
Si PJ ba to?
Hindi. Actually,
Oh, okay,
well,
okay.
na ano ko na na bolero ko na si PJ. I'm gonna do a swerve. I'm gonna pick Jake Figueroa as one of my boleros of the first
Well,
round.
I cannot blame
Um,
you.
Kinda similar to Reinhard Humamoy because Kian Baclaan left, we expected Jake Figueroa to just dominate and be the superstar that he's meant to be. He was so good yung jump niya from 2 seasons ago to last season. Grabe yung spike. We expected him to continue that trajectory. Actually, he's been good. He's been solid. But it's not enough to take over for the load that Kian Baclaan left, 'di ba? Yung hole that Kian Baclaan left, it's not enough. And I think part of that is because of the hand injury then. I was telling you when we were watching live, you can see sometimes like si Jake parang inaano niya yung hand niya eh. Parang tinetest niya yung hand niya. But I think one of the main things missing from him, he's been solid, he's been good, yung post-up moves niya, yung mid-range niya, it's the three-point shot.
It's shooting in general talaga
It's
sa.
shooting, 'di ba? It's shooting. And he had flashes of a shot I think it was last season or yung preseason last season. Maui pointed it out in one game. I think he hit like 4 threes, 5 threes or something like that. But for some reason it has disappeared or he hasn't taken a lot. He's shooting 2 of 17 from 3-point range so far. I think yun talaga yung missing sa game niya. But I still love this guy. I'm still high on him. I think he will be a great player in the pros. Maganda yung size niya, maganda yung skill set niya. I think it's just the shooting. And that's why I have to put him as one of the boleros so far. He hasn't carried his team as what we were hoping he would do. And he hasn't developed that shooting, which should help him take it to the next level in the pros.
I can't blame you for that pick. I did have him as as someone to watch for this season. I was hyping him up as a possible mythical 5 or MVP candidate. But yeah,
Oo
the
nga.
lack of shooting really is problematic for Jake Figueroa. Alam mo, he's decent naman from the free throw line. He's shooting, I think, mid-60s from the free throw line. But when you see him the free throw line,
65%.
he has a decent stroke from the free throw line. So I do think he has the ability to make 3-point shots at a good percentage. Just needs a little bit of work. I wonder if the injury is bothering him. That could be a factor. But overall, yeah, it's actually I thought he would rack up more numbers than this, Samu, to be
Diba?
honest. So
Diba?
So, tama naman. And the other problem is, I said this in our Swak Stacks or Sublime episode. A lot of it also is the coaching rotations and the lineups that are being put out there by Jeff Napa. I don't really get playing Jolo and Jake together with a Padrones or PJ Palacelo because all three of them are non-shooters. Jolo is what? I think he's 1 for 11 from 3-point range this season.
Yep.
The 1-3,
Yung
the 1-3 he
boarding
made
niya.
was the boarding
Game
shot against
tying shot.
UST.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're playing two of them who shoot horribly from 3 is kind of a spacing problem. And PJ is not a shooter also. Si Kenshin Padrones can shoot, but he's not really a shooter. And when sila Humamoy, Garcia, Don Lim are not hitting shots also then the spacing becomes really a problem. And for Jake Figueroa, who wants to get it into the paint, that's gonna be pretty difficult.
Okay. That's it for today's episode. That's the ballers and boleros of the first round. Obviously, our boleros may pag-asa pa kayo. May second round pa. Time to time to bounce back and prove to us that you deserve to be our Gatorade ballers of the week and maybe Gatorade ballers of the season. To our listeners, please comment down below your Gatorade ballers of the week and share with us your boleros. Don't forget to use the hashtag. We will be giving away some of our Gatorade merch, like this Gatorade shirt. And we'll see you again next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye.